What a week, eh? What a brutal, brutal week. So on November 7th, the CFIA culled 300 ostriches up at the Universal Ostrich Farm in Edgewood, BC. And they did this because the Supreme Court rejected the appeal. They have a policy that they have to follow, so they stick to this horrendous, nonsensical policy. And I don't know about you, but I've gone from feeling like sad to sick in the days since I've seen it. The last video I did, I heard about the ruling, but then I started getting these messages, and then you could see on Facebook people were saying they're shooting them, and people had cameras. I couldn't watch that. I didn't watch any of that stuff. I just didn't want to see that. And the fact that the people up there on the farm, they were like pushed away by the police or separated, and they had to listen to gunshots in the night on the farm of animals that they love and care about. You're going to always find haters that say, oh, well, they sold the meat back in the day or whatever. That's a farm. That doesn't mean they're brutal people. That's part of farming. And I see some haters criticizing them. I don't care what anybody says. This was the most savage massacre. This is like the most nonsensical thing, most brutal thing, and I don't know how we sit with this as Canadians. I don't even know what to even do anymore. I feel like I'm living in a satanic hellhole. And it's reminding me of how they treated people during COVID. Like, no matter what, how people stood up and pushed back. The government was so totalitarian and so authoritarian. I don't know where they find these people to work for them. This is like, I am disgusted in Canada. Just disgusted. But let's have a look at some things and try to make a little bit of sense of this. But actually there is no sense to be made. But here let's take a moment to pray for these animals, for their soul. I don't know, man. This is so sad. Let's listen to this.
Is Tim. He's about 15 years old, and he's depending on all of us to save him from an unnecessary mass slaughter at Universal Ostrich Farms. And meet Tim. Say hello, everybody. He looks like he said hello back. Tim is 15 and counts on us to be his voice.
But look at how big, these animals are, and what it would take to take them out. I mean, I don't know. This is, I am speechless, and watching the live streams of like Katie, she's a very strong woman. They are all very strong up there with what they're going through. This is just like, what is the word I'm looking for what they put these people through? For a flu that happened and then the birds got better, leave them the F alone. Like, I don't even feel like I have the words. Like, all those words like gut-wrenching and heartbreaking don't even really cut it, So this post here is saying these ostriches are so sick and dangerous that the public that they needed to be mass executed by rifle, shot by a man with no PPE or hazmat suit. I mean, who's this guy? Who is this guy? People were up there with no hazmat suits, like I said before, and nobody got sick. Okay, let's listen to this. Let's listen to Daisy Media, who's doing some great coverage.
Hey, Daisy here, Universal Ostrich Farms in Edgewood, British Columbia. It's now the second morning we've woken up after the mass slaughter. Our CMP are still here. The staff sergeant just came through. Interesting exchange. I will post a bit later. Man, the night of the slaughter was pretty tough. Yesterday was very tough. The disposal operation, for lack of a better term, was begun. Large bins, carcass bins being brought in. Super Save trucks, I'm sure everyone would know them well by now. Super Save trucks coming in with large carcass bins being left. Birds being moved around, pushed around by bulldozers, scooped. Many of the birds, from photos I've been going through, I've been posting this morning. So I have a video from above of the kill pen warning. It's a little tough to watch, but you can check that out. I've also posted pictures of what appears to be quite a few birds missing their heads. So we know there was upwards, I mean, man, hundreds and hundreds, possibly close to 1,000, 900 to 1,000 gunshots rang out the night of the slaughter. We're now seeing pictures during the cleanup of birds without heads.
This and that's, you heard him mention Super Save Gas. That's going to be the end of them, not gas, but Super Save, that company. I also where's their address? I don't know, but the carcasses are supposed to be taken to Burnaby, 5150. Doesn't that mean you're crazy or something? Riverbend Drive in Burnaby, to the Burnaby landfill, to an incinerator. Oh my God. And then I think I heard that some of them are going to West Coast Reduction. I don't know much about that place, but that it stinks to high heaven. And I think they make cat food there, or they take the meat and make pet food, I think. Not that I'm saying that that's what's happening to the ostriches. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I heard they're might go to West Coast Reduction too. That's unconfirmed. But the news. If you're new to my channel here, I used to work for Global News. When I spoke up about the COVID vaccines, they fired me. They didn't want to hear it, because if you don't push the narrative, you don't push the agenda, you ain't going to have a job there. And so F you, Global. F you for your fucking COVID coverage and your fucking bullshit ostrich coverage. I'm gonna play a little clip of a girl. She's a nice lady, but she's just lost. I don't even know why she works here. I don't even know why she still works for Global News. So here's Jennifer Palma talking to this guy. He is Jason Tetro. They're going to font him as infectious disease expert, but he's a microbiologist, and he works for an emerging pathogen research center in the University of Ottawa. So like pathogens are his thing. Like keep the pathogens going, and then he has a job. And the guy works in Ottawa too. And he's, like with anything, they only book certain people. So the producer, I don't know who Jen Palma's producer is anymore. It's been a long time since I've worked there, but the producer knows what this guy's going to say. Like, you don't book this guy unless he's pushing a narrative. Do you think they're going to book like Dr. Byram Bridle? No, not during COVID. They wouldn't book him. And they're booking this guy because he is going to push the narrative. So again, I'm so disgusted with Global. I don't know if Aisha should even tell this story, but the anchor I'm going to play, Jen Palma, she's actually kind of a sweetie. Like, she's a very sweet, kind person. And when the COVID jab was coming out, I had directed some pre-tapes, not coming out, but when the jabs were out, we were working together, and it was all crazy there, like how you would imagine. And she was on the BC1 set. We had done some pre-tapes, and I was in the control room. And so I was talking to her through her earpiece. That's how we communicate. And I have a headset on. And then she was just talking. And then she said, "Oh, I got mine. And Anita, did you get yours?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't." Talking about the COVID jab. And I said it quite forcefully. I was like, "No, I didn't." And then she's like, "Okay, it's okay. It's your choice. It's your choice." I mean, and I said, like, I'm not taking this thing or whatever, right? And she goes, "No, it's up to you." So it shows she has it's my body, my choice. It's not my body, your choice. It's not my body, the government's choice. That's not how it works. And when you try to like push false narratives of public safety, it's even worse. That's the ultimate in evil. And when you're gaslit and you're gaslighting, like she obviously didn't know at the time that it was bad for you. Like, she believed the hype like so many other people, because they honestly, they cannot fathom that they're a part of something bad. But with the birds like this, do you not get it at this point? And because she said to me, "Well, it's your choice, it's your choice," it shows that she gets that it is an individual's choice. But you cannot toe that line there. And the reason she still has a job there is because she read all the intros, she reads all the copy, like every other anchor there, like Jordan Armstrong and Chris Galis and Sophie Louis. They all I think Chris Galis totally drunk the Kool-Aid for sure. But some of them are more skeptical, but you don't let it on. You keep reading that or you be out of a job. But I would just say to someone like Jen Palma, you are a woman of God. You're a Catholic. Like, get the fuck out of that station. Go keep your dignity and get a job where you're not like gaslighting the public.
All right, so I assume you've been following this somewhat. Were you surprised by the decision at all?
No.
No. Since 2012, and for those of you who remember, we had a massive threat for avian flu, and even researchers saying, well, we could turn avian flu into human. It became very clear that we needed to essentially stamp this virus out whenever it came anywhere near humans. It was an ironclad constitutional law. The Supreme Court shouldn't have even looked at it. But at the end of the day, it's just one of those things where from 13 years ago, we have a rule that essentially says that H5N1 shows up in any flocks whatsoever, the whole flock has to be culled.
Does that make any sense, idiot? Does it make any sense? No, because in BC, no one has died. No one has died from this. Has H5N1 ever killed anyone in BC? According to the Public Health Agency of Canada, the data up to May 2024, there have been no domestically acquired human infections of H5N1 in Canada prior to that date. What are the symptoms? Well, it's like they can be mild or severe, like any type of flu. You can have fever, cough, shortness of breath. Does that mean that we have to kill you? What's with the deal with transmission? H5N1 primarily spreads from infected birds, especially poultry, to other animals. Humans are infected in most cases via close contact with infected birds or contaminated environments. But the funny thing is, because if you consume the food, according to Canadian guidance, there is no evidence that H5N1 is transmitted through humans through consumption of fully cooked poultry, the meat, organs, or eggs. So they killed these birds for nothing, yet Global News is going to put this so-called expert on to push this narrative.
So was the cull necessary in this case? Should they have retested the birds? What do you think of this policy?
Why does she sound so sheepish? Should they have been retested? What do you think? She's not sounding firm or aggressive or like a reporter trying to really get to the humanity and the heart of what's going on. She sounds like she's just kind of asking in like a almost like a way where she's like uncomfortable asking. I don't know.
Here's the problem. In order to test the birds, you have to kill them.
What an idiot.
Because as we know, H5N1 hides in the birds. That's how they end up migrating in migratory birds.
What's the big deal, dummy? Nothing is wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's an article from Byron Bridle. The headline is, "The Canadian Food Inspection Agency's bloodlust, worshipping policies while ignoring science." He says that by the CFIA failing to acknowledge the reality of naturally acquired immunity these ostriches had, they have done the opposite of enhancing public safety. Okay, this is the super save. That, oh my God. This is beyond evil. And now they're going to get more authoritarian, the cops, right? They're going to really come down with stupidity. They'll find a way.
I'm Confronting, BC group. This is recorded live. I hope so. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to read you something. Okay. This is going to be a warning for section of the criminal code. Okay. So section 423.1 sub 1. No person shall, without lawful authority, engage in any conduct with the intent to provoke a state of fear in a justice system participant or military justice system participant in order to impede him or her in the performance of his or her duties. Okay?
Okay, so can you explain what do you mean by a justice system participant?
So that'd be anybody that's a peace officer.
Okay, so does that law apply to you as well? Because people have been doing that to everyone here, including myself.
I'm not going to speak to that.
Well, who can speak to that? So who sent you here? This is a formal warning?
Yes, that's a formal warning. So should we find more stuff online?
Well, okay, well, please, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
What online are you referring to?
Everything that we've been seeing online as well as whatever you posted.
That you've been seeing yourself?
Yes, I've seen.
Okay, and then explain to me what you've seen.
The
constant harassment of members as well as possible doxing.
You have some nerve.
Explain.
Some nerve. I think people have lost respect for this is it. The RCMP people have lost respect. There is no justice for what has happened here. And I want the wrath to come down hard. I want the whole world to I don't know, to do what? To ass kick the people in charge that did this. All the authoritarian rule that we have over here, I want the world to come and kick their asses. Come right over to Canada and put your foot right up their ass, because this is beyond going too far. You know, they kill chickens. It's horrible. It causes food, for whatever reason they kill the chickens. They just do it as a blanket policy. And that policy needs to be seriously addressed. And the policy was enacted incorrectly, unlawfully here, in my opinion, unethically at the ostrich farm. Okay. Thank you for watching this video today. I know everybody's like hurting. I'm hurting too. Like, this is so sick. This is so bad.